A retro yet futuristic design and sound by KLGadgetTV. This is what makes the Nothing Headphone 1 such an exciting product to check out, and in typical Nothing fashion, they are doing many things different from the rest. But despite that, is it worth spending 1099 ringgit or $299 US on this unique pair of cans? Here's my thoughts after 3 weeks with the Nothing Headphone 1. Compared to most over-ear headphones in the market, the Nothing Headphone 1 really stands out with its unique square-shaped ear cups and transparent rounded case. The build quality is pretty decent, and I like the high-quality plastic that is used on the headband that feels like aluminum. The adjustment arm is also really smooth, similar to a pair of premium headphones. The Headphone 1 uses a PU memory foam on the ear cups and headband, which feels very comfortable when you put it on for the first time. But just like any PU material, it can get warm after a while, which can be really uncomfortable. Definitely not something that you'll want to wear during the summer or under hot weather. But if you're wearing this in an air-conditioned room, it is pretty manageable. Although the Headphone 1 can't be folded, I'm glad that Nothing has provided a pretty nice hard case to store the headphone, and it even has a pretty big compartment for storing cables and other stuff. However, I'm not a fan of the invisible zip on the case, as it feels fragile and can break in the long term. In terms of connectivity, the Headphone 1 features the best set of connectivity options that you don't usually get on similar priced headphones. It supports 3.5mm wired audio, USB-C audio, and LDAC wireless streaming, while it can connect up to 2 devices at the same time with Bluetooth 5.3. The headphone supports Microsoft's Swift Pair and Google's Fast Pair, so you'll see a pop-up instantly on your Windows computer or Android smartphone when it is in pairing mode. So connecting to this pair of headphones is pretty effortless and simple. Let's talk about controls, which I had a love and hate affair with the Headphone 1. I love that the Headphone 1 does away with swipe gestures and awkward button presses that you find on most other headphones. The pedal control is great for skipping music tracks, the roller feels very natural when you want to quickly adjust music volume. There's a customizable button on the right ear cup that lets you do either channel hopping between Spotify and Apple Music when you connect the headphone to a Nothing Phone 3. And on other phones, it lets you talk to your voice assistant. Having these individual controls are great, but you see, there are reasons that most headphones give you capacitive controls on the ear cups, because you can either use one side to control the headphone. But all these controls I mentioned are on the right ear cup, and it feels really weird to put my thumb on the back to use the roller and paddle. I would have preferred if they made them on the front, which feels more natural for my hands to reach them. When connected to the Nothing Phone 3, the Headphone 1 is able to quickly switch between playlists of different music streaming apps. You can save up to 99 of them, which I think is pretty cool, but I think it is a feature that needs more polishing, as I find adding my favorite playlist a little too troublesome, as I need to switch between the music app and use the Nothing X app to add them. Also, the voice prompt isn't really accurate, as it doesn't read my playlist name, but rather the first song title and artist of that particular playlist. The button can also be used to activate ChatGPT Live, which I think is really nice, but I would rather talk to Gemini Live, as ChatGPT Live isn't the most up-to-date when I want to ask about more recent stuff. So that's probably something that Nothing will let us configure one day in the Nothing X app. So you might be wondering, what does the partnership with KLGadget has to do on this headphone? Because the audio company is seriously more well-known for speakers rather than headphones. But according to Nothing, the Headphone 1's acoustics performance and sound profile is co-engineered with KLGadget, which, like pretty much every premium audio headphone, claims that it produces sound that the artist intended. Whatever that is, or if it is true or not, but well, I'm no artist to judge whether the sound quality of the Headphone 1 meet the artist's requirements. But what I find it to do particularly well is in the vocals and instrumentals. They sounded crystal clear and realistic, and gives me real satisfaction when I'm listening it. You'll be particularly immersed in Adele's and Billie Eilish's music, where their great vocals will really resonate with your ears when you listen to them on the Headphone 1. And for those who prefer to listen to music genres with more dynamic frequencies such as K-pop, the Headphone 1 leaves no details unheard and produces very natural sounding bass. It isn't a super basic pair of headphones, but it gets the thumping job well done. The Headphone 1's active noise cancellation performance is pretty decent for what it is. It greatly reduces rumbling of plane engines and moving cars, which you can still hear them a little if you aren't listening to any music. I'm impressed with the transparency mode, as it lets in ambient noise without the artificial low-quality microphone recording sound effect. Battery life on the Headphone 1 is very impressive. Not unless you listen to them like 7 hours a day, it is really difficult to kill it even in a long hour flight. The headphone goes up to 80 hours without ANC and on AAC codec. And even when you have ANC turned on, you still get up to 35 hours, which is really impressive. A quick 5-minute charge will offer 2 hours of listening, which is really good if you happen to run out of juice. In contrast to the Nothing Phone 3, the Headphone 1 presents an excellent value over more expensive headphones. It looks cool and definitely grabs attention around you. It is packed with great connectivity and useful features. But most importantly, it delivers stellar sound quality that you don't usually get on headphones of the same price segment. So yeah, that's all for my thoughts on the Nothing Headphone 1. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos coming right up, and I will see you in the next one.